Okay, so this is a demo to organize your first blueprints and preparing images ready for modeling inside Maya. So what we have is an example of an object that we're going to build. And this is just some sort of random steampunk type weapon that we've got from a steampunk website, and with it came a set of plans. So these were the plans that the guys making the weapon, which I think was for a film, have used. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use some of this imagery to build or replicate the actual weapon itself. In particular, we're going to use the front view and the side view and the top view. So these are the three different views that we've got that we can work with. So what we're going to do is first of all cut up an image. So we've opened it up in Photoshop, and what we need to do is we need to create some different versions of this ready for using them inside Maya. The way to do it is to use the marquee tool. There's a marquee tool up here, which is this sort of all highlighted dashed box. I'm just going to drag this over the object until we get to sort of like the extremities of the image. So there we've got all the extremities of the image in there. I'll just let go. And we're going to go Edit Copy, File New. This will create the right width and height for the marquee that we've selected. Click OK. And then Edit Paste. So that's given us the top view. We can now go in and say File, Save for Weapon Devices, and we can choose a place for this to go. But before we get there, what we're going to do is just finish the other ones that we've got. So I'm just going to peel this one off. There we go. So this one's going to be the top view. The next one we're going to use same drag selection. So we're going to drag, select, and this time I'm going to be dragging from the top view here. So I want to make sure I can actually get the right sort of like level. And one trick you can use for this is to turn on rulers, which is a nice easy trick, because then you can actually put a ruler line in where you want to split this image. And I want to split this image here and here, and I also want to split the image there. So I'm going to grab a marquee, and this is going to actually snap to those boundaries. As you can see, snap into the boundaries, and let's get it snapped all the way. There we go. And I'm going to go same again, Edit, Copy, File New, 710 again, and Edit Paste. So that's another layer done. Let's bring this up so that we've got this one just off to the side. And then we just need the last one. And the last one is this one here. So let's bring in the rulers. And I want this one here. And we also want this one here at the bottom. Now this is only going to take us down as far as this front barrel, but it sort of gives us an idea for how this barrel section is going to look. So we can just marquee this one off. File, Copy, New. We'll just look where that one is. It's okay. And then Edit Paste. Now we may or may not use that bottom one. It all depends on how the actual model's looking. So we've got the three views that we needed. There they are. And I'm going to get rid of this image now because I no longer need it. So don't save. So there we've got these views now. Just pull this one out of that one. And let's get rid of this one as well. So we've got these views, and these are now ready, cut up ready, they're the right size, ready to go into Maya. Now we need to export them as JPEGs. So before that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a project directory, a working project directory inside Maya. Let's just pause this. Okay, so we've got Maya up and running, and what we're going to do is first of all create a new project. So File, Project Window. I'm going to create a new project for this. So I'm just going to create a project. I'm just going to call it the Steampunk Gun. Keep everything else the same. Click Accept, and that's going to be going. If we look at where our project is, this is actually going to go in Users, into User Documents, Maya Projects, and on a Windows machine it would be different. So we can go down to the Finder and go into the Documents, into the Maya folder down here, and then we've got Projects, and this is where the steampunk gun is now sitting. Now what we want to do is we want to put the images that we've got into the source images directory of that project that we've just found, I've just gone to. So let's go and grab Photoshop. Now we can start exporting these. So if we remember, this is the top, so we're going to go File, Save for Web and Devices, JPEG, quality set to 60s, it's fine. And what we're going to do is send this out into the place where we need it to go, Documents, into Maya, Projects, Steampunk Gun, and into the source images directory. So we'll just call this one Gun Top. Now we can close that down, don't need to save it. This one, we'll just have a look in the source images, there it is, Gun Top. This one's going to be exported out, save for web and devices, save, this one's going to be Gun Side. There we go, close that one, and then this one is going to be save for web and devices, Gun Front. And we can close that. And the Photoshop can be closed now. We can quit that down. Job done. So these need to now go into the Maya project. So let's just minimize this down. Inside the Maya project, we're going to change to 4 visible views. This is going to give us the top view, the front view, and the side view. And we're going to use these as we need them. So first one we're going to do is create the image plane, which is this little image plane button here within the view. Just open this up. I'm going to do Gun from the top and click Open. In comes an image plane of the gun top, and depending on what you've got, if you've got the attribute editor open, it will look like this. If you've got the channel box, it'll look like this. I tend to use the channel box. I'm going to change this to 0.5, so it changes it a little bit invisible. And I'm going to move the depth in Y down to -5. So in the center goes down -5, and I'm going to leave the rest as it is. I'm going to go to the front view, click on this, and I'm going to put in the gun front. There it is. Click Open, and you see that's coming way too big. And it's also come in at the wrong angle, so this one actually wants to go in as a side view because of the way that it's actually set up. So let's bring it in, gun front, into that one. And just can tell from the way that it should be on this image. Okay. And then the last one is going to be on this one. We're going to bring in the side. And there we go. So the 3 images are in, and they're in the right window format. So let's just have a look at this in here. Now, what we need to do now, let's turn off the grid so we can see this a little bit better, is we need to line these up a little bit more. Okay, so this is going to be one of the things where we need to go in and line up the images. Now we're never really modeling in this window. They can be hidden in this window. So in here you can turn show cameras off. It'll be turned off and just leave the grid. We really do all the modeling in the orthographics. So let's make sure these line up. And it looks like the front and the side line up correctly, and we can check that by looking at 30 by 30 height in that one. This is that window, so let's select this camera. And this one's image plane is also 30 by 30, and then this one, if we select this camera, this one is also 30 by 30, but we don't need it 30 by 30, we need to make it the same width as this one here, so, because it will be the same width, so we need to change the height or the width, it doesn't matter which one, down slowly, using the middle mouse to drag until it lines up with that image. And this is why we should always go to the extremes of the image. It just makes this part of the job just so much easier. Let's turn the cameras back on in this window, and you can see how that now fits together. So I'm going to move this. If we look down the x-axis, let's move this down to the x-axis to the front, and I'm going to move this one here, image plane 3. I'm going to move this off in the z direction, this way. So you can see now inside this, let's turn this to a high viewport. So you can see that as we're working in these imageries, you can see how we can match up these different elements as they are within. Now, one of the things that does look a little bit off is the actual barrel, where the barrel is. This needs raising up, so this is something that needs raising up. It needs to be topped to this one, so this would need raising up in the center Y until it's about the right sort of size. And I could put in a polygon cube just to match up where that gun is going to go. So there it goes. So this is now set, ready for me to start modeling in Maya. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now save this scene. In fact, before I save the scene, I'm going to select all the image planes, and I'm going to apply them to a layer of their own, so I can turn them off and on. And I can also template them out so that they can't be selected anymore. I'm just going to name this reference, or ref for short. Click save. So this is set. This scene is set up now, and if you follow those instructions, you should be able to bring in your image planes and be accurate as well with them. So I'm just going to save this out now. So the scene should be saved as a Maya binary file, and we'll just call this the reference setup, and we're done. Okay, so when you're working with your student files, you should be able to work through everything that you've got in there. You should be able to set up your image planes, your references for objects. Even if they're photographs and you've photographed an object from the front and the top, you should be able to really go to town on some of that sort of thing.